Hey everybody, this is Simone Spence, founder of Don't Get Mad, Get Paid. And as usual, I'm here on Wednesday talking about child support. You know, all the ins and outs of how to navigate you through the system, how to collect your back child support, how to, speak with your caseworker and get what you need done, your paperwork, what laws apply to you, what you don't know, what you think you know, and just really getting you through the entire process. And as most of you know by now, I have literally built my entire career around this. Fell into this quite accidentally years ago. Most of you know the story. Became a child support consultant for over 20 years. Now have built this tech company to automate the process of helping parents to collect their unpaid child support. And, we're living in a different time right now because normally I would just be here, we'd be talking about tools and tips. Maybe we'd have on a guest like we had last week. We had Zura, a mom who has collected over $25,000 using our methodology. And so, we'll do things like that and, have some other really exciting things lined up for tonight. But we're living in a different time right now because we have this whole COVID-19 thing going on. And what I was thinking about doing was coming on and letting you guys know what I've been able to figure out and what I've been able to dig up in terms of how COVID is going to affect you guys with regards to child support. Meaning, what does this stimulus package look like? I've seen a whole lot of misinformation online about, is the money going to be intercepted and given to parents? Is it not going to be? If it is intercepted, what is that going to look like? And how long is it going to take for parents to get it? And how does it affect other parts of child support for moms who, maybe are on TANF or were on TANF and money is still owed? Or, what if you were in the middle of paternity proceedings? And, all of these things affect all of us every single day. And a lot of us are sitting back going, we don't have enough information and we don't know what's going on. And that's what I wanted to do tonight. I wanted to come and I wanted to talk to you about, not having enough information and what I've been able to figure out and how difficult it really was to dig up this information, which, is just par for the course with what we know child support enforcement is like, right? And I'm going to be able to get to a little bit of that towards the end of the show. And not as much as I had wanted to, because there won't be enough time. But, to that end, I think that what I'm going to be doing is coming to give more frequent COVID updates as we are able to peel and pull the information out of the government and figure out what's right and what's not right and what's the truth and what's not the truth, because they're not forthcoming with information. And that should not surprise anyone if you are already in the child support system, whether you are using an attorney or whether you're going to child support enforcement. We all know they keep us in the dark, and we all know that they don't give us any information. We have to pull and kick and scream and, just get it however we can get it. And I wanted to give you some information that I was able to pull by kicking and screaming and talking to people at the congressional level to actually get this information. But during that process, I figured out and I found some other information, which I think is probably even more important to deliver to you right now. And then we can actually get to those other things later. And what I want to deliver to you right now, and again, those of you who are in the game for a while will not be surprised at this. And, but we have to know what's going on. The information I want to tell you right now is that they are coming for your child support. They are coming for your child support. Who are they? Who am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about those who are trying to stop child support in their tracks to begin with. We're talking about, those who are behind the fathers' rights movement. And what they are doing right now is they are actually kicking and screaming. And we all know that this squeaky wheel gets the grease. I mean, I've written about that in all of my books, and it works, right? What they are doing is, they are complaining that the government has said, and we're going to get to this in a second because you want the details, they are complaining that the government has said that they are going to intercept these stimulus checks and they are going to give money from these stimulus checks to parents who are owed past due back child support. So what they're saying is that the majority of all of the parents who owe child support orders are poverty stricken. They're poverty stricken. They can't afford to have this money taken from them at this time. They need their stimulus checks. The kids don't need the stimulus checks, and they are making noise. They're making noise, and they are demanding that this whole thing be put to a stop. They are demanding that during this entire pandemic, that all child support orders be stopped, that there is no enforcement because everybody needs their money, and that any monies that the government was planning on giving to the families who are owed this money and giving it through the stimulus intercepts, through the tax process, just like the IRS does, they're saying that that shouldn't happen. So who knows if this message is going to get to where it needs to go to before these first sets of checks are sent out. I don't know that. I don't think that that's going to happen, because I think this is already in play, because the bill has already gone through. It's already been signed, and I don't think that they can stop anything at this point. But and there's no plans right now for any additional stimulus checks. But if our country remains shut down the way that it is, right, and our economy is shut down, I hesitate to say it's a recession, because it's not a recession, it's been shut down due to the pandemic. But if the economy remains shut down, I would think that there are going to be, and I don't know, but I would think that there are going to be additional stimulus checks coming down the road. When that's going to happen, I don't know. I mean, our neighbors to the north, Canada, are sending out 2 stimulus checks every single month to all of their citizens. But, you know, that's them, right? I don't know what's going to happen in this country. This might be our only stimulus check, or there might be more coming. But if they're really considering keeping the country shut down for many, many months, depending on who you listen to, it's till the end of April, it's the end of May, it's the end of July, some saying or September. There are some people who are saying that we're going to get into a habitual process of shutting down and opening up and shutting down and opening up as this pandemic works through the country or the world globally over the next 24 months. I actually heard that recently, and it's a possibility. None of us know what's happening right now. So there is a possibility that stimulus checks are going to continue. And what this group is trying to do is to basically say, no more intercepts, and not only no more intercepts, but no more enforcement, period. Even for those of us who are already getting our support, whether it's regularly or intermittently or whatever, they're trying to stop the whole thing. And you know what? This is not the time. Not that there has ever been a time to be an irresponsible parent who doesn't want to be accountable for the lives that they have brought into the world and for other people. Not that there's ever a time for that, but this is definitely not the time. These groups are coming out and saying, well, the non-custodial parents need this money to live. The non-custodial parents need to pay their rent, and they need to buy their food, and they need to have X, and they need to have Y, and they need to have Z. And the irony of the whole thing is that, as usual, there is never a mention of the children that are involved. So I guess they continue to believe that the support fairy comes out of nowhere and supports their children on their behalf because they don't want to. And, you know, we are talking about a population of people that have an unwillingness to support their children as opposed to an inability to support their children. Of course, there are those that are out there. We know that, you know that, I know that, but those are not the people that we're talking about. We're talking about the people who are working as 1099 workers, who work in cash-based businesses and under the table, and who created shell companies to run their cash through, and have had their mothers and their sisters and their new wives and their brothers and their business partners to hide their cash and their assets so that they don't have to pay and to be accountable to the children that they have brought into this world. And yes, all of our economics has changed, not that just their economics. Everyone's economics have changed. So dad's economics have changed. So maybe he doesn't have everything that he had before, but you know what else? Mom's economics have also changed. And mom is still the one that's left holding the baby. She's still the one that's supporting these children. So what sense does it make to continue to take money out of their pockets and food off of their table because they still think that their needs are more important than their kids' needs? So what Don't Get Mad, Get Paid is going to be doing. We are in the process right now of actually creating an entire position around this. We're putting it down in writing. By tomorrow morning, we are going to have a petition in place to the United States government requesting that they, A, do not stop any planned stimulus intercepts, and can let them continue to go to the families that deserve them and who they are owed to, and then to also continue this process of the intercepts, and of course not to end enforcement of child support as a result of this pandemic, because where dad might be losing some money, we can guarantee mom is losing money too. And the whole thing about becoming a parent is that it's no longer about you. It's no longer you putting yourself first. You put your children first, always. I know me and most parents who are like me, we would gnaw on a single chicken nugget for an entire week to make sure that our children have what they need, if it ever came down to that. And sometimes it comes down to that for a lot of these custodial parents when they're not getting what rightfully belongs to them. So we're putting out a petition tomorrow, and I'm going to ask you to not only sign it, of course, because your child support depends on it, and your neighbor's child support depends on it. And what I tell people is that you shake your family and friend trees, and people are going to come falling out, and they are going to be depending on this. So sign it, share it widely and with as many people as you can possibly think of, because this is not the time for special interest groups to come out and start rattling cages again so that they can continue to push their agendas forward. This is about the kids, so let's keep it about the kids, right? We all know there's $118 billion that's out on the street that parents have not been able to collect. That's a lot of sneakers and tutoring sessions and food that didn't make it to the table, and tuition that didn't get paid, activities that kids weren't able to sign up for. And now, with our lives entirely changed, it very well could make the difference between mom literally putting food on the table, or making her rent payments, or making her mortgage payment, because we do not have a freeze on any of those things yet. I have a son that is in Florida right now. He is away at college and has his own apartment, and I pay his rent. And I was really surprised because I was waiting for somebody to come out and say, hey, there's a freeze on the rent until we all figure out what's going on, and I got the notice in my email, popped up this morning, boop, rent's due. And I'm like, yeah, it's April 1st. It's not an April Fool's joke. And this is real. And if, and if you are a parent, the last thing that you want to be right now is stuck in a situation where you can't pay your rent because your finances are messed up, and your child support that has been ongoing, that you have come to depend on, is also not coming because these yahoos went and made a big deal of it and said, hey, we don't think we should have to take care of our children until this is over. Free us up from our rightful obligations, please. I mean, no. So sign it, share it. We need to do this thing. Part of the reason why they are so successful, part of the reason why they're able to kick and scream so much, is because they band together. So it's time to band together, and this is the perfect time because we're all at home, right? We're watching Netflix, we're watching Tiger King, we're scrolling, we're seeing the latest memes. band together and get this thing done, because I'm telling you, if we don't act, these folks are going to take over and they're going to run over us. And there's not going to be anything that we can do. And I'm telling you, now is the time to act. So please, I'm really begging you at this time, when you see this, don't ignore it, because the next thing that you're going to know is you're going to be hearing that, enforcement's been frozen, and then the whole nine, the jig is up at that point, because they're going to have possibly months, possibly 24 months of a freeze on this thing, and who knows what it's going to get back to when it ever gets back to it. So enough already, enough of them gaslighting us. So this is what has happened over the past couple of weeks, and what oh gosh, it feels like a past couple of weeks. I've been working on this for maybe up to a week, days, 4 or 5. It feels like months this time. But this is what I've been able to find out. So when the stimulus checks are released, those parents who are owed past due child support by payers who are in arrears for at least 60 days or more, and that's the benchmark. You have to be in arrears at least 60 days. Those stimulus checks are going to be intercepted by the IRS. And any other time, I would be excited for you, because I know how much this could potentially mean for us, having been in that situation myself many years ago. And the reason why I'm not as excited is because of everything that's going on, because we're really in a very precarious situation right now. So I'm in a place where I can't get excited until I start seeing you guys posting that you're actually getting your checks. Okay. So 60 days or more, the checks are going to be intercepted by the IRS. It's going to be done through the regular IRS intercept. So I know that there are some of you who have been reaching out to your child support agencies, and the agencies are saying that this is not happening. I am told that this is happening. And I got this information from the office, the congressional office, from where the bill came from, the actual bill writer's office. So according to the office of the congressperson who actually wrote the bill, this part of the bill, this is happening, and it's going through the regular IRS intercept. So some of the information that I was trying to find out, but I don't have yet, is whether it's going to continue to go through the same process as a regular IRS intercept. So for those of you who have not experienced that, let me tell you, it's a nightmare. Typically what happens when the IRS intercepts a tax refund and offsets it, the money is taken by the state, and it goes over to the child support office in the state where mom lives, and the money is held for a period of time which is determined by that particular state. That's a state by state matter. But I have seen these monies held from weeks to upwards of like 6 months. The reason why they hold the money, as so they explain, I'm not saying that this is right, because there's a better way to do this. There's always better ways that this can be done. I can think of like 20, and I have these conversations off the top of my head, like, lots of times when I'm having high level conversations with people about, what it is that we're building and how we want to fix things going into the future. But what they say is that they want to give the non-custodial parents enough opportunity to appeal this process, and to try to basically say, hey, this money shouldn't have been taken away from me. I'm the wrong person. I've actually paid that amount of money. You should, feel sorry for me and give it back. So, but that doesn't take 6 months to do, right? So there's problems in the process. But What has not been made clear is whether we're going to be going through that process or whether there's just going to be a quick pass through in the name of COVID-19. So I'm not sure how they would plan to do that, since their whole claim to fame before was we've got to give dad due process. So I'm not sure how they're saying that dad doesn't get due process this time in the name of the pandemic. But the thing about it is that the bill actually does not answer that question. The bill actually doesn't even answer the first question about how this money is going to be intercepted. It's not in there at all. There's a lot of legalese, and you have to, for the most part, be an attorney to be able to interpret it. And the reason why I got the information was because I got it from the congressional office, connections, yada, yada. But that's the way that it's being done. So we don't know if it's going to be done through the regular IRS intercept or whether they're going to find a way to like COVID-19 around this thing. So if I'm able to find out that information, I am going to let you know, because that's really important for everybody to know, because it's one thing to say that we're going to be getting this money and they're going to COVID-19 around it and it's going to be in your bank account within the next couple of weeks, like your regular stimulus checks. And it's another thing to say, yeah, you're going to get this money 6 months from now, which is still great, but it's not the same thing. And so I want to try to deliver this information to you accurately. So that is what I have been able to find out. So no matter what you're hearing out on the internet, and I've seen we are getting the money, we aren't getting the money, I've seen all kinds of things going on, rest assured that this information is coming to you straight from the congressman's office. So straight from them to me, to you, with no with no nobody else in between there in that information. So so that's the thing that I wanted to deliver to you tonight. There are other things in the bill that I'm going to want to share with you as we go along. There's not a whole lot of time left in this show. So what I'm going to do, as I explained, is we're going to be figuring out how we're going to be coming to you and delivering very quick COVID-19 updates, because this does affect you. It affects me. But that's the information. Sign the petition when we launch it tomorrow. I'm also launching writing up a position paper so that we can announce to the world exactly what our position is in all of this. But look for all of that tomorrow, because we're going to help you guys get through all of this, and we're going to get through it together. And you can count on me to deliver to you the most accurate information in the child support space that's going on today. All right. So again, visit us at don'tgetmadgetpaid.com. Check out what we're doing. Check us out on our Facebook group, Don't Get Mad, Get Paid, and look for us in some of our groups that we manage. I am Simone Spence. I am the founder of Don't Get Mad, Get Paid, and it's been my pleasure to deliver this information to you guys. And we will see you next time. Peace.